Action! Welcome back to Bleacher Bum TV, episode 16. It's your host, Carl. I got my guy, Danny Lance, on the ones and twos in front of our live studio audience. And before we even get into the show, guys, round of applause for everybody. If you want to put a track underneath this to really emphasize how enthusiastic the audience is. We definitely don't need to be here, Danny, at all. If there is ever a time where we're like, nope, fuck that. I'm not talking about travel plans. I'm not talking about logistics, we got a snake draft. I'm just saying if there was a time in the season where we're like, you know what, guys? Not this week. It would be this week. But, as we say here on Bleacher Bum TV repeatedly and across the Barstool Chicago universe, we out here. We're not going anywhere. I know the team's trash. I know I was very upset last episode. I let it bleed hard, raw, just uncut. Why are the Cubs getting to me the way they are? I've had some time to reflect. A lot of people say, Carl, are you still mad? Carl, is it still bother you? And the answer is yes, very much so. If not, it bothers me more now today than it did at the trade deadline. This doesn't seem to be something that's gone away. Now, there's a couple pieces of news along the way that might kind of pick our spirits up. So let's indulge. Let's enjoy ourselves. The prospect rankings, I think the Cubs were just ranked the third best farm system in baseball, which is great. Great news. There's tons of reasons to be excited. Not to be Debbie Downer, just to temper some expectations, almost every single guy on that list would be considered an accelerated call-up should they make it in 2024. So about 2 years away from seeing what those guys are made of, and then obviously probably another 2 years away from when they're consistent everyday big leaguers. So what do we do in the 4 years in between? We wait patiently. We hope Jed Hoyer goes out and makes a big offseason acquisition. Just this week, there's also news. Ken Rosenthal reports that the Cubs absolutely will go get one of the top shortstops in free agency this year. There's three at the top. I think it's Dansby Swanson, Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts. Those guys ring a bell. Also, Carlos Correa may opt out, and then people are going to say, well, what about Nico Hoerner? And this is a hill that I have taken a big beating on this year, and I'll just circle back in case you guys want to take another couple of licks at me. I like Nico Hoerner. I think he's a great player. I think he's a phenomenal all-star caliber second baseman. I think he's a very productive center fielder should he want to make that transition. And I think having him play shortstop every day for 162 games is an absolute fucking grind. And we're seeing him at his absolute best right now with 107 weighted runs created plus. It's like adjusted for how relative you are to the rest of the league. Don't read too much in the stats. Just know he is above average this year. But we have the tendency as Cubs fans to see above average and then run into it and just be like, oh my God, this is amazing, because we're devoid from what above average looks like. So I'll tell you, Nico Hoerner is an above average shortstop who right now is, I think, according to Fangraphs, those are the people who keep track of this stuff, I think he's the 14th best shortstop by those metrics they keep track of across all of Major League Baseball. So the question is to you, before you come and talk shit to me about this take, is, do you want to die on the hill of the 14th best player at a position? If I gave you the 14th best catcher right now, you know who that is? I'll just throw a stab. I think probably the Stallings kid from Miami might be around in that middle of the pack, and he stinks. We're just doing this for relativity and context, guys. Keep an open mind about where Nico Hoerner plays long term. He should be on the team. He should be in the lineup. He should be contributing. He should be hitting line drives. He's exactly the type of guy you want in that type of lineup. Are we going to make him our shortstop for 10 years? Based on this report from Ken Rosenthal, I'm happy to report, to his report, it doesn't seem like that. Now, if you're Jed Hoyer, you're going to be active this offseason. You obviously have to make some moves. Why? Because you owe it to me, the fan. Because you owe it to Tom Ricketts, the owner. You owe it to your players. How about you owe it to David Ross? This guy was on Dancing with the Stars, getting a big contract from ESPN, living what I would presume to be a pretty good life, until the Chicago Cubs came to him and said, we need you. We need you to take over for Joe Madden. We need you to be the face of this organization. We need you to lead this. It's not a rebuild. It's a retool, David. It's not often you hear me or see me feel bad for somebody that's won a World Series, is the manager of the Chicago Cubs, and by all measures, one of the most important baseball figures of my lifetime. That's not an exaggeration. That's who David Ross is. And now he manages our team every day, and I think we forget about it because we don't want to confront the reality that David Ross has been on the front lines, getting his ass kicked with these boys every single day. He hasn't gone anywhere. And it doesn't seem like he is going anywhere. It seems like David Ross is absolutely a part of this rebuild. So, Jed, don't do it for me. I don't care. Yes, I do very much. Do it for me. Don't do it for Tom Ricketts, absolutely. If you're going to do it for anybody, please just do it for David Ross. Give the guy a shortstop to pencil in, feel good. What a combination. Xander and Nico, Trey Turner and Nico, Dansby and Nico, Carlos Correa and Nico. How about just like that? That's better than Nick Madrigal. We traded Craig Kimbrell for Nick Madrigal, who's... He just came back from injury. He's 3 for 11 with a 273 slugging percentage. I say that. I'm like stumbling over it because I can't believe the words as they're coming out of my mouth. These are questions you should be asking yourself. We're obviously very bad. Where does this team go from here? We size it up over the next couple weeks. I told you this would be a tough show to do. So let's talk more specifically about Jed Hoyer, the GM, the genius, the guy building the team. I like Jed. I think he's a good guy. I will point out these 4 players that were on the Cubs this year. Daniel Norris, Jonathan Villar, Andrelton Simmons, Wade Miley. We picked his ass up on waivers, paid him $10 million. He's made 4 starts. None of them have been, well, whatever, sure, fine. He's okay. He was good last year. Who saw the Wade Miley regression coming? Not me. Well, guess what? It's not my fucking job to see it. Of course I didn't see it. I'm sitting here writing blogs, hosting shows, arguing with the boys. If it was my job to be in the data and project regression, and that was actually a responsibility, I like to think I would look at it objectively. Maybe I'd do a better job than this. I know the 4 players I just named, Jonathan Villar, Andrelton Simmons, Daniel Norris, and fucking Wade Miley. Those 4 guys cost us about $23 million. What was that face you just made? I'll do it for you guys. Camera guy, Danny. Producer. You don't like that. $23 million. Big ones. Where does that money go? I don't know. But these are the type of questions we have Cubs fans don't have to solve. These are the ones our leadership has to solve. So good luck to Jed Hoyer as he confronts us. Here's what I do know. I know this week we have 6 games. 3 at home against the Washington Nationals, 2 on the road in Cincinnati, and 1 at the Field of Dreams against the Cincinnati Reds. And as I sit here in front of this camera, I cannot believe just how bad the Cubs are going in this national game. It will be sad. It will be a difficult watch. So difficult that I myself am not even sure if I want to buy a face value ticket and make the drive out to Iowa. How bad. I mean, it's not that big of a problem. I think it's just more indicative of how, like, we're just torn. We're just torn. I will say the uniforms that came out, why can't we do all things as well as we did these throwback uniforms? Are we going to the Field of Dreams game? Sure. We're sending the Cubs out there. We'll watch it. It'll be a big production value. It's just sad. It's just sad. So we're in a sad moment of the season. I want you guys to stay strong. The Bears are breaking camp any minute now. Your college football team will be here to distract you on the weekends. And while we wait, I will point out, this has come out on Tuesday morning. Monday night, providing rain or some other type of cataclysmic circumstance, I will be at Wrigley Field for Star Wars night. On that note, Justin Steele, here's somebody to watch. He's made 20 starts so far in the season. If he makes a full season worth of starts, I'll feel good about that. Keegan Thompson, you're okay. Adrian Sampson, you battle. What am I doing to myself? Marcus Stroman's looked okay since he came back. I mean, the starting pitching is trash. Why am I even doing this? We got a couple weeks left in the season. The English Premier League just kicked off. Like I said, we got football around the corner. There's plenty of reasons to stay optimistic as a sports fan. And unfortunately, the Cubs are doing little to nothing to add to that. So enjoy it while you can. Ticket prices come September will be absolutely cheap. You'll see us at the ballpark. Like I said, this was a tough episode to talk about, but it was necessary. We had to get through this. Don't kill me about the Nico Hoerner take. Start doing your research, though, on the shortstops because the market's going to be hot, and you don't want to be a dickhead this offseason. I shouldn't say it like that. You want to be informed this offseason. Stay informed. Subscribe to Barstool Chicago YouTube. Subscribe to Bleacher Bum TV. Check out some merch. We got links below, all that good shit. Until next time, guys, just stay strong with me. We're, as sad as it sounds, we're almost through it, and this is as bad as it's been in quite literally a decade. Until next time, this is Bleacher Bum TV. I'm Carl. That's Danny Lance. This is Barstool Chicago. Hey, how you doing?